Recap from last session? Anyone interested? Getting inspiration?
Sure. Since I'm stuck in a basement, probably use it. Um, so we started our adventure with a shopping trip. Resulted in a couple things. Then we stopped and picked up Tristan from his armor making place, and then we went and talked to someone. Please remind me who we talked to.
Igno the Drover.
Yeah, that one. And
Whole
then we
map
went
is
to
black to me, by the way. Sorry.
sure. Then we went to Crabs to go check out Crabs and decided that today was not the best day to fight. Tristan was without armor. I was without combat spells, and so instead we decided to go to a fancy party where everyone is making nice and talking, and I locked myself in a basement because I'm smart.
We went to Crabs. Oh. Sorry. Let me just close that door.
I feel you, Miles.
Grandma left, so now he has to play with Dad.
Ugh, the worst.
Well, that's not what Karis hears in the basement, Connor. There's no screaming baby in the basement.
There needs to be something to check out. I have no idea what I'm doing here.
Yeah, let's start with Vikaris in the basement, locked and in the dark.
Okay, so I believe I already tried to investigate for something super fun down here, right?
Yes. You were
Okay.
told that there was something down here, and it piqued your interest, and you went to go find it and found and rolled terribly to find anything interesting.
Right. So yeah, my plan, as we discussed briefly, is to hang out here for an hour until my teleport comes back. And if it doesn't, I have another plan should the door open. Which is great, because I've used my Tides of Chaos.
Oh, okay, all right. So you are just sitting, correct? I believe you mentioned something about putting a silent image over yourself, or is that something you would wait to do?
That's something, yeah, I'm waiting
Oh,
for,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right, sounds good.
So I'm just hanging out on the other side of this wall as I've positioned myself.
Uh-huh.
And that's what I'm doing.
It's so funny.
Unless I can spend some time to keep looking.
I would allow you to do that since you're choosing to wait at least an hour. I would give you more time to investigate.
Okay.
I'll let you roll another investigation check.
Hooray. 12.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, a little better than what I know.
Hello. Okay, you're peeking around this room. It's a lot of cargo that you see. But the thing that catches your interest the most, I would say, as you go around. I'm saying I don't think a 12 would find necessarily a particular item that was mentioned, but there's another flight of stairs that is going down.
Oh, I would like to go down those stairs then.
Okay. You go down
He'd
the
like
steps.
to get himself locked behind another door.
I wait an hour just to use space step to get behind another locked door.
This doesn't have a door at the end. In fact, as you begin stepping down the steps, it is not only is there not a door at the bottom, but there is a bit of light coming from below, what looks like possibly natural light or something, and sound of water and the smell of the underpart of a city.
Okay. So I'm assuming this is where they smuggle things or get things in and out without other people seeing.
Yeah, as soon as you hit the bottom of the steps, there's a small platform, a structured platform with a wooden dock, a wooden pier built into it. That looks like that's where things would small rowboats would be able to come through here, and you can actually see as well from here. There is the gate that you guys might have noticed as you saw the house as you entered. This gate that goes right to the harbor. There's a portcullis door and a mechanism to open it on this side.
Oh. Um. Can I open it?
Yeah, sure. You pull on the mechanism. You turn the wheel. You hear the clanking of chain move, and the portcullis raises.
Okay, I'm gonna close it.
Yeah.
Can I go back to the cargo?
Stuff
the way-
upstairs.
Yeah, keeping an air out for that door opening.
Right. Roll a perception check for me.
Boom. 16.
So far, you don't even hear anybody near the cellar door at all, like the steps or anything.
What are in these boxes? Or in the cargo, rather.
It would appear most of the things that are here would be more common smuggled goods, finer clothes, or tools. Nothing that is in the same way to the stuff that you guys found out on the house on the hill. Nothing that has like a seal by the king for the kingdom, or anything too exotic or expensive.
Anything illegal?
Not necessarily. I'll say that you find some potions that you can't identify. There's not really a way to tell like what those might be.
Mhm.
There's a box that has, I'll say, a small box that has 12 potions in it. Some of them obviously healing potions, some of them something else.
Oh, and I don't have the bag of holding. I knew I shouldn't have given it to that fucking bird. Oh my god, speaking of birds. Anyways.
Okay.
I keep forgetting I have a bird now. God, parenting is so hard, guys. Do I want to take the potions or should I leave them? Is there anything the cars would find interesting in these boxes? Like just weird.
I don't think this would necessarily pique his interest, but I think this would be something he would recognize and find curious. Fey crafted weaponry.
Oh. Nah.
No, that's not something that he would like. That's not something that he would be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna take that." That would be like that would definitely be that doesn't make sense why this person would have this.
Right. I'm gonna take one of the healing potions.
Okay.
And a potion that I cannot identify.
Okay.
And if only I was Spring, I would have detect magic. Yeah, I would like to go back up the stairs again to the door.
Okay.
And then, does it sound like anybody's super close?
I will let your previous perception check stand, and I will say no.
I am going to cast Reduce on the door.
Okay. I believe we discussed what this essentially does.
Yeah, it breaks the door, and I'm okay with that.
It breaks the door. Every part of the door, because it is not like, even though it is crafted into a whole, it's in itself not a whole thing, and it falls apart. and that's gonna make noise. But the door's gone.
Okay, real quick, let me just. Okay, cool.
Oh,
I'm gonna walk through. Is anybody around?
Not immediately.
Okay, cool. I will let go of concentration of the spell and move the hell out of there as quickly, but as also calmly as possible, as to
Okay.
not arouse suspicion.
Do you want to roll stealth, or would you rather roll something else that you can justify?
Well, I was thinking. Let's see. I was thinking kind of like performance as a like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. I'm just walking around here. No big deal.
Right, right. I believe you're still disguised as that one woman, correct?
Maybe not. Let me see if it's disguise self isn't. No, yeah, I am.
It's not concentration. I was just
Nope.
wondering if you dropped it.
Nope.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
Yeah, so I want to look like I'm her walking around, just like minding my own business and doing my thing that I would do at parties. Rather
Okay.
her thing.
I will let you roll performance for the reason you gave, and roll with advantage because you are in disguise, and you are technically doing something she claimed she would be doing at some point.
Oh. So. Natural 20.
Beautiful. All right. There's. I will say that the servant that was talking with her previously catches you and just nods to you and then walks away.
I nod back, and then as soon as I don't see anybody else around, or move to an area where no one can see me, I would like to drop the spell.
All right, you can like go into the bathroom that's like right here and do that.
Cool. I will go into the bathroom real quick, drop it, wait a couple minutes, and then walk back out
Cool.
and meet up with my friends.
Excellent.
That worked out way better than I thought.
Okay.
Remind me again, we're at Gellen's house, right? Old dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Yop, what have you been up to in the past hour or so while Vicaris has been completely out of sight and probably out of mind?
Yop is going to be going around the party, just trying to get everybody's name. She would like to know who all is in attendance at this party. So she'll start over here with this Bert-looking motherfucker.
Okay. I'm gonna just let you know, not everybody's got a name, but everyone will give you their name.
Okay. I can make this even easier for you.
Mhm.
Essentially, Yop is cross-referencing everybody's name against the list she has of who's in the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Okay, all right. Just give me a moment as I'm figuring out. Okay, so they changed the dynamic lighting
Mhm.
system apparently.
Of course they did.
Give me 1 second. Ted. Okay, can you see now?
I can, yes.
Okay, and what can you see to?
Like over here. Although it's. Yeah, it seems to be working.
Okay, perfect. Anyone else having vision issues? Okay, great. All right. So you're comparing notes with your list that you have.
Yep.
Let me just check the list. Roll a charisma check. We're just gonna go straight charisma for this.
Absolutely.
Okay. 16. A couple folks you meet, whose names would coincide. Would be a couple prominent members that you would meet while wandering. A gnomish woman, named Jilar. She's here. She is the head of the Woodcrafters and Shipwrights Guild. Scaran, Wave Chaser, seems to be a rather kind of skulky fellow, but is very pleasant and talkative. Just kind of gives a little weird vibe in general. Winston Bross, who you recognize as the shopkeeper of Winston's.
Okay. All right. Well, that's how she spends her hour, is just schmoozing people, getting these names, and will, once she's sort of met everybody, determine that these are the 3 people that are on the list, will just keep an eye out for opportunities to share that information with her fellow members of Acquisitions Inc.
Okay.
in a surreptitious way.
Okay. Is there anyone that you would like to go to specifically first to share that information with, or are you gonna wait?
I'll probably go to Monkey first, since Betty's over there and Monkey's by herself in the corner.
Okay.
Shh, I'm hiding in the corner. Let me hide in my corner.
I can see that. I'll let you return to hiding in just a moment, but I've discovered that there are 3 members of the Scarlet Brotherhood that are here. See, I don't really know what to do, but
Wait, who? Where?
Jalar. I can't pronounce these names. Jalar, Sharon, and Winston are they're all on my list of Scarlet Brotherhood members, and they are here. I'm not sure. I guess we should just keep an eye on them and make sure that no funny business ensues.
All right, I can help keep an eye out on one of them.
Wonderful. Do they have icons so we can sort of position people to get eyes on everybody?
We'll say this one over here. We'll say that's
Knew
Scaran.
it.
I mean, it wasn't going to be, but it's the only
Right.
one that isn't assigned. Let me just. Flip a token real quick. There we go. That'll be Gilar. And then the other one was Winston. Do I have him around? I do not. And Winston will be the common space. Where? There we go. Over here.
Okay. So next, I will tell Grynar. Grynar, you see Winston over there?
He nods.
Well, he's on my list of Scarlet Brotherhood members. Do you think maybe it's a good idea to keep an eye on him?
I don't know.
What was that?
I can keep an eye on him.
Ooh, okay, wonderful. I will position myself right about here so I can sort of keep an eye on everyone. And that's all she's gonna do.
Okay. Zashel, what are you doing?
Zashel will. If Anders is still here, Zashel is just going to keep kind of shooting the shit with him, as awkward as that conversation generally is.
He goes to sit somewhere because he's a little woozy, but yeah.
After that, I will go speak with Ida and Manistrad.
Okay.
Nothing. I have no real particular conversation, just mostly small talk.
Okay. You see that the both of them are smoking pipes next to the fire and seem to be having pleasant conversation, mostly with each other every once in a while, speaking with the major, who responds very lightly as he has been, as far as you've seen him interacting, and it would very much appear that even though there's something that kind of obstructs Etta and Madistrad politically, like when they're at work, there is tension between them frequently. That seems to be completely evaporated in this setting, and they talk very pleasantly and are very good company. Probably the most comfortable people to be speaking with that you've bumped into thus far.
I mean, they've got to be better than Anders, poor kid.
All right. Anything special? You said you don't have an idea of like something you want to say specifically, right?
No, mostly just shooting the shit, mingling, small talk.
Yeah. Okay. Dasani, what are you doing?
Dasani is he just finished talking to, I forget her name, this woman and gentleman.
Uh-huh.
I think he was originally kind of like smooth talking, flirting a little bit, kind of being a doofus. Doesn't really go at parties, so he's just kind of like making things awkward. I don't know. He's just kind of chilling, walking around, checking shit out.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Grinar, is there anything that you were doing besides keeping an eye on Winston?
Nope.
Okay. So Vakaris, what do you do once you actually get to join the party?
Yeah, it looks like Yumi's the only one alone right now, so I'm gonna go head over to her.
Okay.
And I forgot that this one has accents. Hold on. Yumi! Yumi!
Oh, yes.
Down-
Where? Hey, how are you?
I'm good. I was another person for a little bit, but I'm better now. Downstairs in the basement, they have, I believe, I believe they're smuggling weapons.
Yes, yup, mentioned. And then Yumi's gonna lean really close that there's some member of the Scarlet Brotherhood here. And we need to keep an eye out on them.
Do
I
you
already
think?
forgot what their names were.
Would the two of you roll stealth for me?
Oh,
Sure.
absolutely. Ooh, natural 20.
Hey,
Beautiful. All right. That's 2 20s in a row, Vakaris. Better watch out.
I know. Start casting spells.
All right. Continue.
Do you think the owner of the house is working with the Scarlet Brotherhood?
They could be. I mean, that makes sense on why, military equipment is getting out.
Who should we tell?
I don't think we can trust anyone on the council right now.
Hmm. I don't know what to do with this information.
You know, I think
Okay, we'll
there's
have a
only
fun
one
party.
person I know that's probably not involved, but I don't think they'd be much help.
I'm gonna head over to Yap now.
Okay.
Okay, good luck. Bye. And Yumi's gonna shrink back into the corner and pat Betty. Is Betty still here?
Yeah, Betty's still there.
Pat Betty, yeah.
Yap, is there a place we can talk where there's not so much people around?
You say in the middle of the room with all the people around.
Yes.
Is your tummy not feeling well again, Vicaris?
I am not feeling certain ways, yes.
Oh well, let's go over here.
So I was downstairs, and I saw that they're smuggling Fey weapons.
Oh dear.
Do you want me to roll again?
Yep.
Okay. Da-da-da. Come on, third natural 20. 15.
Not bad.
Am
Still
I
good.
also rolling, or is it just
If you're trying to be quiet, then yes. If you're
Oh,
not,
well.
then don't worry about it.
Well,
Great.
doesn't make a difference, really.
Cool. Continue.
So yeah, there's a little waterway downstairs, kind of like a sewer. I think that's where they're getting all their cargo and stuff from.
Oh my, I wonder if that... And Yup is actually being very quiet, right? But as she says, I wonder if that has anything to do with the 3 members of the Scarlet Brotherhood that are here. She's actually very demonstratively pointing at that one, and that one, and that one.
Oh gee, do you think any of them are working with the owner of the house?
No, I don't know, and I also don't know if just because there's Scarlet Brotherhood here, if they're involved in the smuggling. This has become quite an interesting puzzle. We should all be very attentive throughout the evening to see if we can figure out what's really going on.
Also, I broke the door.
Well, it seems like Ellen Primewater can probably afford a new door.
Sure, I'm just wondering how long that's gonna take to get noticed.
Well, perhaps that we can use that to our advantage. They don't know that you broke it, so it will perhaps reveal who's concerned about what's going on in the basement.
Oh, true.
Good job, Vicaris.
Although I do know 2 people. Who are the 2 people that were talking?
Just a couple of folks in the other room. You don't know who they were.
Oh, maybe I should go talk to them.
Ooh, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Do a little investigation and see if you can't find out any details about them.
Oh, sure. Are they still in that area?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool.
This is going great, guys.
This is going so good.
He's gone, though.
Oh, hiya.
Hi.
My name's Vicaris, and I hold out my hand.
Miriam, good to meet you.
Oh, nice to meet you. So what do you do here, Miriam?
Well,
Yes.
I'm a friend of Gellen's from a little ways out eastward of the city.
Did she touch my hand before or after introducing herself?
I think she would say it. She would have been saying it like at. I just saw the curse. It would have been like as she was grabbing your hand. So she gets about halfway through saying it before her eyes just go blank, and she stops speaking. But she then continues with the sentence saying that she's friends with Gellen.
For context, she forgot her own name, guys. Sorry, what'd she say though? She works for.
She's just a friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and who was that handsome gentleman you were talking to earlier?
Oh, that was just I was just asking someone to get me a drink. That was all.
Oh, do you not know him? His deal? What's going on with him?
No, just someone who works here.
Oh, then you wouldn't mind if I talk to him.
I wouldn't. And she gestures for you to. She's like, go ahead, kind of hand wave.
Is she lying?
Okay. No.
No.
That was that was by appearance a servant she was speaking with.
Okay. Before that, how long have you been friends with Galen?
Oh, we've known each other for years, but the Prime Waters are an establishment in the area. My family moved here, 2 generations ago. Prime Waters have been here nearly since the founding.
Oh, that's nice. What do you do specifically?
I work in. Sorry. I work in the Guild Hall, the Mariners Guild Hall. I am a attendant there.
And what do you attend?
The sailors who come in and out.
Wow. Oh, that's nice. How long have you been doing that?
Oh, better part of 15 years.
How do you like it?
It's fine. It's all right. Not bad.
Yeah. Do you ever see what they're doing? Do you ever go on a boat? Do you ever maybe oversee things being delivered?
Well, not primarily, but I do sail on occasion.
Oh, that's nice.
Sometimes go out to the Isles. Everything all right?
Oh, no, everything's great. I'm just going to go hit on a servant. Have a good night.
Good night.
And what was your name one more time?
Her jaw opens and her face contorts into a very confused expression, and she looks away and turns around and just looks at the fire.
Okay, well, don't hurt yourself. And he'll walk out, but like he's smiling very big. He takes a lot of pleasure in the fact that she can't remember her own name. And I am gonna go hit on a servant boy. For reference, how old is he? And is he an adult?
This is an adult.
Okay, good. Okay, good. And it's this one right here, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'll come in. Oh, hiya.
Hello?
Hi, my name's Sakaris. Who are you?
Jonathan?
Jonathan. It's nice to meet you, and I'll hold out my hand.
He kind of waves. His hands are a little preoccupied with a tray and things, and he says, sorry, I'm a little busy. Why don't you go and enjoy the party, go speak with the other guests.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I'll enjoy the party after I talk to you a little bit more. I was trying to learn some more about you, Jonathan.
Why?
I saw you talking to that beautiful woman in there with no name, and I said to myself, "Wow, that's a handsome guy over there. I should go talk to him."
Can you roll? Can you roll persuasion for me?
Absolutely. 17.
He says, I'm a little busy right now, but I can speak with you later if you'd prefer, if that's all right.
Oh, absolutely. Come find me when you get a chance.
Sure. And he goes out the this side door and then stops and goes to the steps, and you can see him looking down the stairs.
Oh, that's my cue.
And then he starts making his way to find Gellin. Okay, and what does Makaris do?
Running to my friends to hang out with them as if nothing ever happened. As if I'd been here the entire time.
Cool. Jesus. Okay. Greinar, could you roll me a perception check?
I could.
Okay. Okay. You almost don't catch it, but there is just a flash of a shorter figure who is leaving that room, this room over here, just vanishing at the corner of your eye.
See them leaving?
Mm-hmm.
Is that one of the people that was pointed out to me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Griner will go ahead and just follow at a respectable distance, looking for another drink.
Looking for what?
Pretending to be looking for a drink.
Oh, okay, okay.
Betty's going to waddle after Grinar.
Okay.
That roll 20 is being super laggy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, according to their Twitter, they're still having some problems.
You see that they just go into the kitchen?
Grinar will follow.
Okay.
Actually, I'll wait here and see if I hear anything for a second. If not, I'll go in.
Okay, roll perception. Okay. You don't hear anything out of the ordinary from the kitchen, per se. But after a moment, she comes back out. She just smiles and nods at you as she passes. Continues moving. Kind of skirts around the pelican a little. And starts going towards the front door.
Grinar is going to go into the kitchen.
The servant there that is working on final dinner preparations just waves at you.
He says, what race are they?
Half elf.
The U.S. hoping to get some better alcohol.
Say that again?
Everything's going super robot right now.
Okay, you're fine now.
He just says, he's basically making small talk. He's like, "Oh, I was looking to get another bottle of their liquor because everything out there kind of is."
She kind of shrugs at you and says, "I'm sorry, that's what we've ordered for the evening. I apologize. We don't have it. I'm not allowed to give you something else at this time."
Only kind of heard what you said.
She
but
says
assuming it was
whatever's
most-
yeah. Whatever's there is there. She's not allowed to get you anything.
Griner just sort of waves his hand like, and then
I don't hear what you said.
never mind. It doesn't matter. I think he just. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna not roleplay and just tell you what I'm getting at. Griner is basically going to try and make small talk and ask them what she was doing there by saying that she was being rude to servers earlier.
Sorry, the person that just came in, is that you're asking about that? Tristan?
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. I don't know what you're asking. Why don't you just type it in chat for me? Okay. I make a perception or make a charisma check, just a flat charisma for me. If you can hear me. In the meantime, okay, there we go. Basically, what she tells you is she apologizes on behalf of the person who was in, saying that woman was just coming in for, to let her know that she was not going to be staying for dinner and was not going to be needing a plate, and then left. What is Yop doing?
Yop is keeping close eyes on, I believe this is Scarin.
Mm-hmm.
So she's keeping close eyes on Scarin and covering that fact by acting like she's engaged in the conversation with Captain Zendros and Igno the Drover, who are the two standing right there, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's gonna act like she's engaged in that conversation every now and then. Yes, that's very lovely, but is really just focused on Scarin.
Okay. Could you roll a perception check for me?
Mm-hmm. Lovely.
All right.
Apparently, she's very interested in the conversation between Igno and Captain Zendros.
Yeah. It's actually fascinating because the
Right.
two of them have vastly different and fat and interesting lives.
Right. And turns around at some point. It's like, hey, wait, where it happened?
Yeah, he seems to have stepped away. He's still actually in line of sight. He's just moved himself. Not necessarily moving away from you, but looks rather intent to sit and speak with Anders. Dasani, what you doing? Doug's muted, so I don't know if Anders talking.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay. Dasani is just gonna walk around, see what's happening. What was over here? Who's on here? Oh, do these rooms connect? Don't really know. Is there anything in here that anyone I should be talking to? Having a
There's
conversation with anyone specific?
that's up to you. There's Captain Zendros, who you met yesterday. There's Ingo the Drover you met yesterday. There's Anders, the councilman, that you specifically haven't met. And then Yop and Yumi are both here as well.
Where was this guy at? Right here.
Who are you talking about?
The councilman.
Oh, it's the green over here.
Okay. I guess I can go over to him and say, "What's up?"
Hi. Hi.
What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Who are you?
My name is Dasani, bro. How are you?
I'm all right. Solmner. What? Anders. Solmner. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Having fun time at this party?
Better. Yeah. And I'm sitting down.
What?
Huh?
Oh, he sat down.
Where are you? We haven't met. We've not met. Are you? You're not from Saltmarsh, right?
No, dude, I don't know where I'm from.
Cool. All right. Shortly after that vague conversation, what could loosely be described as a conversation, begins. Gellin comes to this room, and he says, "My apologies, everybody. I just discovered some rather unfortunate vandalism in my in my basement. Nothing to be worried about, but I apologize for not being in attendance and making sure you're all having a pleasant time. But rest assured, dinner will be served in just a few moments. And if there's any other sort of business anyone needs to discuss with either myself or other members of the council, please be sure that this is an opportunity to do this in a more casual setting than perhaps at our offices. But I apologize. I'll be away for just a moment as I handle this miniature crisis that I appear to be.
Gellin,
Oh,
Yes.
gee, what happened?
if the Saltmarsh franchise of Acquisitions Inc. can be of any service, I think we've proven ourselves to be quite the adept investigators.
Oh, truthfully, I am not at all concerned about who did this or what caused it or whatever. I just need a few. I need a little time to replace the door. Is all. That's nothing
Oh, I
that.
understand.
Not something I hold no ill will towards whatever.
Yop pats her
This.
apron and the pockets therein, and says, "Well, I've got a varied and wonderful set of tools if you need any assistance."
I would not ask any of my guests to work while here and under my roof. That is, you are a guest, and perhaps I shall call on your services tomorrow. But for now,
Okay, nothing to tinker with. I understand.
and not long after this is when meals are brought out, which are all cuts of pork and lots of fish and root vegetables and cabbages and other things, and hardy plants that are native to the area, and but nothing like, admittedly, nothing exotic or fanciful, just more or less like pleasant country food that is very much indicative of the cuisine of the region. Admittedly, not very different than even what Missy makes for you guys on the regular. Some people are dining at the table, some people are dining in chairs away. it's not necessarily what's the word? Formal dining setting. And Gellin is taking the opportunity now to check in with everyone who he's not really gotten to speak with yet, or hasn't for some time because he's been greeting guests and then handling this door situation. Zashel, anything else that you're doing?
I must have broken the chair. At some point, who's the closest acquisitions agent person to me? Vicaris.
Oh, hiya.
If there is no one else around, or if this dude here is not really paying attention, I would like to pull Vicaris aside and just ask. I'm going to assume the door was one of us.
Oh, sure.
Anything I should know? I've just been making small talk.
Oh, yeah. No, so there's people from the Scarlet Brotherhood here. By the way, are there people around?
Yes.
Can I pull him away?
Yeah, let's go out front.
Yeah,
As I walk into a
I'd like
wall.
some fresh air. I say like super loud. Okay, nobody out here?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, so there's people from the Scarlet Brotherhood in there. I believe it's around 3. And then downstairs they have Fey weapons, so I think they're smuggling because they have some sort of sewer system that allows them to bring stuff through. So I had to reduce the door, which broke it. Otherwise, I was stuck in there because I don't know how to unlock doors.
Okay. Well, that's fair. Yeah, no. Got to do what you got to do to get out. Better broken door than caught back there.
But the good news is that that if I was caught, they would have thought I was somebody else. So I was looking forward. I was thinking ahead for that one.
And you say there are Fey weapons down there?
Right. Weapons from the Fae. Definitely.
Interesting. Okay, well. We can, I guess, just sort of keep this under wraps for now. We don't know if the Brotherhood is tied to Gellin or just happened to be here, so that's something to think about later.
Right. See, that's what I'm wondering is what does he know and who is he working with? I tried to talk to some lady who attends sailors at the dock, if you know what I mean. But she wasn't super forthcoming. And then I tried to hit on a servant guy, and that didn't work out so well.
Okay. What did hitting on the servant have to do with this?
Oh, good point. So earlier they were talking about stuff that was downstairs, which led me down there in the first place. And so I went back up to see if I can get more information from them, but neither of them were very forthcoming.
The servant and this woman were speaking about what's in the basement.
Yes, it's a woman who can't remember her name. So if you introduce yourself and she can't introduce herself back, then that's the one I was talking to.
I will keep that in mind. Okay. All right, we should probably go back in before this draws too much attention, but good work.
Oh, sure. And as we come back in, I'm going to say very loudly, oh, that fresh air was nice. I'm so glad we went out.
Sweet Jesus.
Just everyone sitting there is like, did somebody just get a handy? I don't know what just happened.
Okay. You two come back into the room. Okay. That's where Zashel goes. Vicaris, when you come into the room, you catch Yop talking with Ingo and Captain Zendros, and he actually says, he actually says to Yop, I have a request, actually, that I think that you might be interested in. You and your companion, he gestures to Vakaris, but then he looks at at Zendros and says, "I hope you don't mind, but this matter requires a little privacy." And she raises an eyebrow and looks at the turtle and the Eladrin, and says, "Right, but I shall be asking about that later." And she taps the side of her nose and drifts away. And he comes to stand next to you two and says, "You are all for hire, yes?
Oh, yes.
And what sort of work do you do? I've caught wind a little of some of the tasks you've been able to complete, but it seems admittedly rather altruistic. This might be perhaps more selfish, admittedly."
We're capable of handling all sorts of tasks. We've done some investigations and some peace negotiations, and when necessary, some skull cracking.
Excellent. He nods towards the door and walks out into the hall.
I will follow him out there.
And says, I used to be the proprietor of an incredible estate, a fortune beyond the wealth of this city, and there is very little of it left. In fact, most of it, as things started to turn for myself and my family, was converted into less liquid funding, which was all put in a very secure and secret and private casing, which found its way onto one of my prized vessels, which was lost for about 12 years. And I happen, through some friends of mine, to hear that this vessel, the Emperor, happens to have been found again. It would appear that it looks like it's gone through hell, but it's distinct in its appearance and sails out on the Southern Ocean somewhere. The fortune within that case is worth 100,000 gold, and I am willing to offer 10% to anyone who is willing to reclaim that for me.
This does sound like work for the Salt Marsh franchise of Acquisitions Inc. Would you wait right here one moment, please?
He nods.
Zashol! Zashol!
Yes.
Igno Dover might have some work for us that sounds like it's quite lucrative. He said that it could be worth 10% of up to 100,000 gold pieces.
I'm listening.
Well, there's a ship, then he put his fortune on it for some reason, but it was lost for 12 years, and now it's on the Southern Ocean somewhere, and it's a very distinctive ship, and he'd like someone to retrieve it, and I thought maybe a contract was in order, yes?
Definitely. We should try and
Igno!
distract
Igno,
5
this is...
people in the
Do you
hallway.
remember Zashel? This is... And she just walks right back over to Igno.
Yes. Do we have a deal?
This is him in the hallway, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
next to the cars.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Could you? Diop explained an overview of what you were asking. Could you go over it one more time for me?
Certainly. I have.
I'm completely distracted by Gellin and whoever that woman was walking around the hallway.
Good. um. Yeah. Okay. Yes, he says. I have a little money left, so I am willing to. I have within my own wealth currently a vessel that I can use to send you all to retrieve a craft that is carrying everything that is mine and my family's. The value of which is 100,000 gold, and 10% is a small dent in it, and would be an understatement of my gratitude for anyone who were to retrieve that for me.
Is it because the boat sank, or is it because you think they ran off with it?
From what I understand, the vessel is in poor condition. Main mast is shattered, and another is fractured to the point of almost non-operation. From what I understand, it is hardly a ship, but it is managing to sail. I don't know how or where from or where it's been for so long, but it moves. It's been seen, recognized.
Interesting. So this ship that should have sunk contains your family's fortune. You would like us to retrieve it with a 10% finder's fee. Do you have any idea if the ship has been seen? Who is... A ship will not sail on its own. Who is sailing this vessel?
That I have no idea. No one has gotten close enough to it. It just happens to have... The stern of it is painted rather uniquely, and apparently the illustration remains intact and was recognized from a distance.
Why did you put your family fortune on the ship 12 years ago?
It was to meet me here when I moved here from my home in Baldur's Gate.
I see. And you arrived and it did not.
Correct.
Why send it on a different ship than you traveled?
It had more to do with the fact it was with some other belongings that I needed put here earlier, and I was not yet ready to leave. I still had a few affairs to... And it's not like anyone besides myself could even get into the chest in its first place. The item itself is hard. It's almost garbage to anyone who were just to look at it. But the contents of that box are precious.
I see. Well, we will need a very specific description of this box so we also don't mistake it for garbage.
He holds out his hands to a about 1.5 foot cube, and he says, "It's steel and blue, like the deepest parts of the ocean, and on the top of it there is an engraved A. My own name."
Have you been in contact with the ship's captain at all?
Unfortunately, contact to a ship is difficult at the best of times, and any offered purchase for spells to call him resulted in no responses.
Oh, that's not good.
It is not. I thought that I expected this ship to be long since gone.
No response, or the magics fail. There is a subtle distinction.
My familiarity is limited, but from what I understand, I feel failure might be the appropriate answer.
Well, I will have to confirm with the rest of my associates, rest of our associates, and he'll gesture to Yap and Bakars. But this definitely sounds like something that we would be willing to take on. I can draw up a contract and we can come by your residence tomorrow, if that is acceptable.
Of course. Yes,
Splendid.
that sounds wonderful. Thank you.
Any pertinent information, for instance, you said the ship had been seen. Its last general vicinity would be very useful, obviously.
Still within the Azure Sea, but some days south. The sailors who mentioned it to me, they had been on a 14-day voyage. Saw it some maybe 6 days prior to returning to the city.
So, a little over half a week out. All right. All right, well, tomorrow then we will come by. We should not discuss the specifics at a private party, I think. Be.
He nods. Thank you all, and I shall see you. I shall be seeing you.
Sasha, I don't know if you've heard, but there are members of the Scarlet Brotherhood here at this party.
Vicaris briefed me.
Oh, excellent.
Although I'm not sure whom, but I think for now just keep an eye on them.
Yes, keep an eye on them.
I'm not
Oh,
sure
yeah.
what they're...
Yes, Vigars?
I didn't update you on the failed courting of the servant boy. I don't know if he's into elves. I don't know if many people here are into elves.
There was a courting of a service boy?
Right, yes.
He looks at Zashel, looks back at Vicaris, looks at Zashel.
Sorry,
Looks back.
I should elaborate. Failed courting. You forgot the failed part.
We lost that.
I said failed courting.
No.
Yes.
Adam dropped out for a second. He's back.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry that your romantic overtures went unrequited, Vicaris. Perhaps next time.
Did you explain to Yap why you were speaking to the servant?
Yes, we talked about it right before I tried to hit on him and it didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess all that's left to do is keep a close eye on the Scarlet Brotherhood members, on Talar and Scaran and Winston Ross. And, other than that, I guess they just enjoy the party.
I plan on doing just that. and I'm gonna head over to the captain.
Okay. Real quick, Zashel. Liru slowly. She finally noticed you, standing in the door over here, and she puts herself against the door frame and she says, "You haven't come to say hi?"
Yes, I was. There's a complicated answer for this very simple question, unfortunately. I might have mistakenly let slip to Ida that we know each other, and she asked a bunch of questions that I wasn't sure how to answer without saying too much. So,
And what sort of answers did you give?
none. I avoided the questions entirely, thankfully.
All right. I trust you. I wouldn't worry. I've been fine here, and really, Eda's been a lovely neighbor. She and her whole family, very pleasant people.
So I have found in our brief work with the various council members. What do you know about Gellin, who owns this house?
Her brow faintly creases. Probably the most upset expression that she can really manage. And she just says, "Unfortunately, not much than what he says, but he himself very slippery individual, very easy to talk to, and that can be dangerous. I don't think that he's anything
That is what?
more than a selfish man." It only depends on how pulls him in any one direction, but that is the case for most. She seems a little disappointed. Do you need help with something? Are you worried?
No. Something has just come to light that is either very good for us or very, very bad. It will depend largely on whether or not he is tied to some previous work we've done. Oh, speaking of previous work we have done, that reminded me, I may have found someone who can help you outside of the work done by Acquisitions Incorporated, who might be able to further, I don't know how to say this, who might be able to assist in more, I don't want to say mundane tasks. They are a wizard as far as I'm aware. She is a wizard as far as I'm aware.
She tilts her head to the side and she says, "Are you..." And she puts a finger to your temple and casts Detect Thoughts to make this easier for you. Up to you whether or not you let her read your thoughts.
Yeah, I won't bother to resist.
Okay. And I'm assuming I'll let you with how the spell works, you can more or less pull her through a train of thought.
I will flash back to the Ghost of the Sea and Panketta. It's largely thoughts of she seems more in over her head than actually dangerous. And the conditions in which she is being kept right now are, at least to me, horrific. Mostly because being cut off from magic is horrible. She would essentially be serving a community service, which, similar to Micah and Toby, would be for her smuggling efforts. But even when she essentially had an ambush on us, the magic she used against us didn't hurt us. It couldn't have hurt us. So it's not like she was trying to kill anyone. So it just seems a waste to have her sitting in an anti-magic prison, potentially to be sent off to do manual labor.
Okay.
This is of course, contingent upon her trial. But
Right.
that I've spoken to Ida and Gellin? Yes, it was Ida and Gellin.
It was Eleander.
Eleander, that's who it was.
Mm-hmm. Her hand slowly withdraws, and she processes this information and says, "Very noble. Admittedly, there is some things there I found distasteful." And you immediately remember Panketta being tied to the mast. And some other less savory behavior. Not necessarily exactly from you, but from, people in your party. And she says, "But I think you have the right idea. It wouldn't hurt to have someone that could help, and if just having someone around lessens someone else's burden, both yours and her legal obligation, I would not be opposed to this as long as she is comfortable with that arrangement."
I have spoken to her. She seems eager to escape her current surroundings, serve her time, and return home.
And would she happen to know me by nature?
No. I have not given her any specifics on you at all. I made it clear I would need to make sure that this was acceptable to you and, of course, to the council first. They seem receptive for the most part.
She puts a hand
Ida
against your
and
face.
Eleander. Anyway.
Yeah. She puts a hand against your face and says, "All right. You have my permission to do what you can to help this woman. And I will, in kind, be of assistance as I can." And then she says, "Is there anything else that keeping from me?"
We have... I don't know if Ida spoke to you, or... No, Eleander, you were speaking to earlier, about the truce made with the lizard folk to the west. West? Yeah, west.
Her smile is gleaming, and she says, "Yes. Yes. I'm very, very proud."
I'm sure there are others to make similar arrangements with, but...
It will take time. But yes. I fear that the goal this unification might end in more blood than I had previously foreseen, but once it is done, it will be done.
There's still time. There's still time left.
Yes. She smiles again, and with a last touch on the side of your arm, she moves back away. She goes, "We're here." We're gonna call.
Actually,
Hmm?
I couldn't actually see her because I'm where my
Yeah.
token was.
We will take 10. So, Doug, you wanted to talk to Zundros?
Yes.
Okay. What do you say to her?
Oh, my bad. No, I'm just gonna come up and be like, oh, hiya.
Hello? Yes. Yes.
So, as I'm sure you're aware, I look very different from the last time we saw each other.
How is the device that I've given you treating you?
I haven't really used it yet, but I'm sure I'm gonna love it. You should. I should warn you though. You should not get too married to the way I look. I tend to change how I look very often.
Oh, I am familiar.
How many lantern do you know?
There are a few that live out in the Silverstand Woods that I have encountered in the past, but not many in total.
Have you ever been to the Fae?
No, no, dear. Infernals do not find themselves very comfortable in the
Well,
Feywilds.
that's too bad. The Fae is so fun. This place is boring and stagnant. But the Fae, you can be anything.
This is true, but there is something comfortable about reliability, is there not?
Reliability's boring.
I could guess that that would be your feelings based on. And she looks you up and down.
People need to learn how to embrace the chaos.
This is something you do.
Oh, something I revel in for sure.
It is good to see you. And to see this part of you.
I can't wait to show you my other parts.
She smiles, sharp teeth.
He smiles back.
It's good
I
to
didn't-
speak to you again, Vicaris.
I didn't really have like a plan. I just wanted to talk to her and to tell her not to expect me to see me this all the time. That's it.
Could you roll insight for me?
Sure. $11.
Okay. There's a weird thing about what she said to you just now, and but it's a little hard to remember what that. It's like ringing a bell, but you don't recall why.
Okay? Was it the Infernal in the Feywild?
Nope, not that.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
What's Grynar up to after? I haven't really been ignoring you, Tristan, but I've been just hoping that the mechanical issues you've been having have been able to work themselves out. So, what have you been up to?
No, he hasn't really been doing much.
Anyone in particular he's making effort to talk with more?
I think in general he would try and talk to the orc guy that was there and the what's it called? Any dwarves that are in attendances too, probably.
All right. There's a Manistrad there, and another dwarf there who you find out is her one of her two brothers is there. The orc, the half orc, the more you speak to him and the more he talks about his master Albric, it's becoming he at one point slips the surname, which is Dralian, which is not the name that you have associated with Ingo thus far. And the Copperlock's is he's a modest gentleman who just works in the mines under his, what's the word? Not advisement, supervision of his sister, who is the head of the mining company, as it is.
Gotcha.
You. Oh, okay.
What was the surname again? Can you type it out for me? So I can write that down?
Yep. And let me just make sure I spell it all right. Okay. And Yumi, are you doing anything different?
No, I don't think she would. She's waiting for someone to do something or ask her to do something, but she's not very good with interacting with people.
There are servants who come by and offer you either hors d'oeuvres or drinks. I don't assume you would take anything.
She would ask for just water, but
Okay.
besides that, no.
Well, yeah, no, they'd bring you water if you asked. Okay. And Dasani, are you still talking to Anders, or has your attention drifted?
No, we're still chilling, waiting for food.
Okay. Anders is getting very tired. And yeah.
Of me or in general?
No, in general.
Oh, okay.
In general, he's just sleepy, and food is
But also,
food is being served or has been served. Like there is dinner here.
Gotcha.
Okay. If there's nothing else specific, more or less what happens the rest of the evening is mingling. So is there anything else that is that needs to be a point of being done?
I think Yumi will eventually ask Yop when she's gonna do the thing with Betty.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You've missed it already, dear.
Oh, did I? I wasn't paying attention. I must
Yes,
have.
I did it for Igno and for Captain Sandros.
Was that when I was hiding somewhere else, maybe?
Perhaps I
Did they
told-
like it? Did they like Betty?
Not quite as much as I would have hoped. I mean, it was nice, but it wasn't as awe-inspiring as I hoped it would be.
I'm sure someone else will find it all inspiring.
Yes, perhaps I need to refine my routine.
If I recall correctly, you actually rolled rather well on performance. And there were like a few people who were interested, but Zendros was the only one who asked about what
Right.
was at play.
Oh no. Yop's hope was that the entire party would come to a complete standstill and erupt in applause. So by that metric,
Okay.
wasn't quite as
Gotcha.
successful.
Right. Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Let me think. Let's get a perception check from Yop and Grynar and Yumi. Wow. Okay, that's fine. Grinar mostly had this information already. Yumi and Yop, the later into the evening it gets, the more it is very obvious that gnomish woman has long since left. The one you were keeping an eye out for, Gilar.
Mm-hmm.
And about what time would you all begin to leave? It would be close to midnight at least, when there would be only a handful of people left. And the Major and Abernathy, out of politeness, would wait for all of you as well, because it'd be kind of a dick move to take the boat home and leave you guys here to have to get an inn. But eventually, people begin to drift away. Anders is actually one of the first to go, and a couple people volunteer to help get him home. Gellin even assigns a servant to assist. There we go.
Which servant?
Not the one you're thinking of, don't worry. I've not forgotten.
Thursday.
Speaking of, as it gets later and people begin to leave, he does come over to you, because again, you rolled well and all of that, and he says, I have some time now if you'd like to speak. There's something that you needed?
Oh, sure. How long have you worked for Gellin?
4 years, some?
4 years. What do you do for him, mostly?
I am a butler of sorts. Work in his offices and in front of the house maintenance.
And do you like working for him?
Yes, it's pleasant work. Pays well.
Oh, what kind of work do you find most pleasant?
Well, I genuinely have a preference to attending to guests. I enjoy seeing and meeting new people, and caring for the front of the house. Simplistic for a bachelor of his age, having as many rooms as he has in in his house. There, maintenance is simplistic.
Maintenance. Speaking of, who do you think broke the door?
Oh. He just says, that is. I have not the faintest clue. I can't imagine that it was done with. I suppose it could have just been taken off of its hinges. That seems unusual.
Right, that's weird. What do you Sorry, I forgot. He's not stammering like this. I just forgot what I was gonna ask.
That's fine.
Interesting door, the one that was broken. What's past that door?
What do you mean? Interesting door.
Well, it's because it just somehow flew off its hinges. That doesn't happen every day. So maybe it was something behind the door.
I doubt it. It's just a cellar.
A cellar. Is it a particularly nice cellar?
That is something the kitchen staff would be more familiar with than I.
Oh, you don't go down there often?
Not particularly, no.
Have you ever gone down there?
Sure.
Have you ever taken
Occasionally.
some down? Have you ever taken someone with you down there?
Can you roll persuasion for me?
I cannot wait. Kind of want to burn inspiration on this, but I'm not. 17.
He says, on occasion.
Oh, yeah. What do you bring people down there for?
I could show you if you'd like.
Oh, I would love that. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
I can't tell which of the two of you is the serial killer trying to lure the victim
Right?
in.
I think
all
they're
sounds
both
horrible.
serial killers. Their hands brush while they reach for the dagger.
He just walks, past. Well, actually, he bends down to like lift the door up and put it up against the wall.
Oh, such
Um,
a gentleman.
and takes you downstairs.
Oh, it's so
I need
strong.
to
Cool.
know if there is a necessary cut to black, or if you're going to actually like beat the shit out of this guy and then look around, or what your plan is.
I am not trying to do either.
Okay, great. That was my preference, but yeah, what is your goal here?
Although, if he thinks that's what's going to happen in order to get me down there, I'm cool with it. That's definitely where I was trying to lead him. However,
Right?
I'm just
That
gonna
was
start.
obvious.
I'm just gonna start like, when like people like put their finger on like a table and just kind of like wipe it, not to like inspect it, but just kind of like, oh, what's this and what's this over here? And so I'll just keep asking that to eventually lead to the stuff where I found all like the cargo and potions and whatnot. Oh, what's this?
This is private collectibles of Master Gellin.
Oh, where'd you get them from?
From all over. There's a couple of enchanters in the city, and a few and a few folks who exchange interesting property for interesting property.
Oh, have you seen inside yet? And I open it.
I would say this would be more of the Eladrin blades. And he just reaches over and puts the lid back down, and he says, "It is all none of my business."
Oh, where's your sense of adventure, servant guy whose name I have not learned yet?
You actually have.
Oh, what's
You
his
did
name?
ask
totally
his name.
have.
I'm Jonathan. That's right. Where's your sense
You
of adventure,
forgot
Jonathan?
his name.
Is it any fun if he remembers his name? Um, and he says, "I should be returning to my station." And he nods to you.
Oh wait, but these swords are so nice. Where do you think you got them from, and for what purpose?
I do not know.
It's
It's
weird
not-
though, right?
I wouldn't know.
Okay, well, I think we should get back to the party now. This seems like wildly inappropriate. I'm gonna head upstairs. Goodbye. Have a good day.
All right. Poor Jonathan. Okay, and then what do you do?
I'm gonna head up backstairs and just keep that encounter to myself for now until we leave.
All right. I'm just pulling some people who are leaving out. And what time do you all decide to leave? What is your plan?
I mean, you made want to leave as soon as possible. She didn't want to come anyway.
Everyone else?
Zashel will wait for Liru to leave, and then we'll walk her back.
Okay. Yeah, she decides to call it a night. Maybe 9 o'clock. And starts and heads for the door.
I will see you back to your house. We can discuss anything, whatever. I was going to say Punketta, but I think that topic is run out for now.
She smiles and she says, "I'd like the company." And her house is not terribly far from here. It's only like a block, or it's like a block and a half or something. Um, and
So,
as
wait, this is Gellen's house. If she's not
Mhm.
far, and Ida's basically her neighbor, where is Ida's house?
here, let me show you.
So keep an eye on her. Is she out there now? Because her litter box outside.
Okay.
Bathroom. Okay, she's out there.
I was confused too.
Not
I was
not
like,
talking to
"What?"
us.
Keep an eye on her. I'm like, what the fuck?
Okay, so we've got Prime Water Mansion right here. And her house, you remember where that is. And the Oland estate, trying to, yeah, it's this building over here.
Oh, okay. Right, wow, directly across from the council hall.
Yeah,
Shortest commute ever.
ain't that nice?
It's a small town.
Okay. Okay, Zashel disappears, and eventually the council members begin to drift to leave. Zendros is actually one of the last people to leave. And Eleander, before he makes a formal exit, he stops to talk with Yop. Where? Oh, there's Yop. Because she's closer by anyway, and just says, in case it has not been brought to your attention, I shall be leading an escort out to the Lizard Folk caverns that you all located earlier, and as such, I will not be in my office for some time. If you have anything you'd like to tell me, there are certainly those who might be able to payment contact me from distance, but until then, notes under the door are fine. But naturally, I would suggest you speak to other members of the council while away.
Well, I understand. Be safe on your journey.
Thank you. And then he leaves. Galen gives you all a formal mark of gratitude, and he's very grateful that he got to meet you all a little bit better and see how you all behave in public, which was a fascinating watch for everybody. And eventually, Abernathy begins to collect you all and say, "It's probably best that we be headed back to the lighthouse. Is that all right with all of you?"
Oh, sure.
Is there any other business you'd like to conduct in town before we head out? It's getting late. Most places will be closed, but if you have anything you'd like to do, let me know.
No, I'm all good. I was
To the
ready to leave when we
lighthouse.
got here.
Well, that's rude of you to say while we're still here.
I don't like parties.
Oh, Yumi. I'm sorry.
Well,
Let's get you home.
yes, let's get us all home. Come on, Major. And eventually, especially since Zashel went off a little bit earlier, he can make it back in time for everyone to just get to the docks, meet up with Toby Micah, sail back home.
On the
And-
trip back home, I'd like to try and strike up a conversation with the major.
Okay.
Again.
Again.
The first one didn't go so well.
Yes, let's be clear. It's again. What do you say?
How did you enjoy the party?
It was quite pleasant.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. It must be quite lonely staying in your room in the lighthouse.
I don't find it lonely, but there is a yawning silence that can become overwhelming, certainly.
Well, I'm glad you found an opportunity to break that yawning silence. I'm I'm curious. Have have you heard any stories about something called the Scarlet Brotherhood?
Hmm. He puts a hand to his chin and scratches and thinks and says, I've heard long ago of folks who called themselves the Scarlet Brotherhood. A very unique group. Some
Hmm.
claim to be descendants from a very proud and unfortunately very ethnically pure line of folks who believe themselves divine. Uh, these individuals, this kingdom they come, I think those who might remain, or hope that they might remain, believe themselves to be heirs to something that is better dead.
I see.
How do they
Now,
feel about elves?
I don't believe they feel any way about elves. The
Oh,
only animosity that is humans and elves around here is a long buried hatchet. Some time ago there was an appeal there was a contract that was written between the free creatures of these lands. I believe it was called the Allies of the Three Five, I believe is what this alliance was called. The Dreadwood, which is just barely north of the city, is a very dangerous and volatile place that connects to the Feywilds. And prior to its development, the elves of the Silver Strand and the men of Saltmarsh were feuding for some time. After the hags crept through the Fey Dark into the forests, an allyship had to be forged, and now it is only by the good graces of the Silver Strand, elves and Eladrin, that Saltmarsh need not worry about that border so intensely.
so who does the Scarlet Brotherhood hate then?
I believe they hate anyone that they feel has wronged them, which, as kingdoms fall, would mean anyone that is not them.
I guess my question is, if they think they're ethnically pure, who are the ethnically impure?
There's
Everyone, not them.
yes,
It's sort of the way fallen empires see the world.
So it's not just like one race in particular; it's just all but one race.
correct.
Okay.
do you perceive the Scarlet Brotherhood to be a genuine threat, or more just like a ghost story or a legend at this point?
He crosses his arms, and you can roll insight.
Mhm.
Um, and says, "I've not encountered any such myself. I think that I think there is more to worry about than supremacist groups
I
hunting in
think there's
shadows.
more to worry about than supremacist groups too.
And Yop gets distracted by the fluttering of a sail.
Vicaris, there's a little hesitation in what he's saying. Almost more of a reassurance to himself than anything else. As you make it to the lighthouse, the Major is one of the first to disembark from the ship and quickly returns to the privacy of his own room, having spoken to more people today than he has in probably a month.
At me next time, Sarah.
All right. I'm assuming you all take a long rest. Anything else that needs to happen this evening? Any private conversation or acquisitions related information that needs to be shared?
I will begin to draw up a contract for the drover. Ingo?
Mhm.
The drover, I can't remember his first name. And I will, before they head back to Saltmarsh and back to their families, I will let Micah and Toby know that we will probably have a what's the word I'm looking for? Mission? Sure, we'll go with that. We'll have a mission out to sea that they will need to make sure to prepare for, and let their families know, make their affairs ready, just in case of the worst. Yada yada yada.
Okay.
So, I'm confused. Are we concerned at all that a member of the council has spay weapons in his cellar?
I think we should definitely be concerned.
Oh, about that. So I took the servant boy down, and he didn't really seem to.
You took him down?
Right, I took him down.
Like, took him
You
out?
went down with the service boy?
Yes, down with the service boy. And
No. Oh, okay, so you didn't kill him when you said you took him down.
oh no, who do you think I am, Summer? So, anyways, we went downstairs, and he didn't really seem to know much besides that this stuff had happened before, and he's a collector of things, so there's a chance it's a collector, but I don't trust it.
We should definitely be wary of Galen. We've done one of two things by dealing with what's his name, Sanballet's group. Either they were rivals of Galen, in which case we've done him a great favor, or they were his, shall we say, employees, in which case he might be very, very upset with us. Had we known this before the party, I might have suggested not going, but I think it's definitely a good thing that we went so that we discovered this possible connection.
And got a new job.
And got a new job.
Might I point out that you had a this Sanballat you speak of? He's still in the prisons, yes?
He is.
It might be something you could ask him before he's sent to his trial, and perhaps put to service or put into a higher security prison, or even hell, he might be sent to Seaton for all we know.
What is
also,
Seaton?
I forgot. Yeah, you can identify things, right?
Yes.
And I'll pull out the potion that I could not identify and be like, "What's this tool?"
Give me 10 minutes, please.
Oh, take your time.
It's a potion of, I'm gonna say it, but it's not pleasant. It's a potion of tongues. It casts the spell. It casts the spell tongues so that you can understand and be understood by anything that speaks the language for an hour.
Hell yeah.
Ted, you asked a question a second ago, I think.
Yeah, he said, or maybe sent to Seaton, I think it was.
Mhm.
What is?
That's the capital of the kingdom.
Oh, right. Okay.
And also I'll put both of those potions into the bird's mouth, and that's the bag of holding.
Right. You don't just feed them to Betty.
No.
But it seems like perhaps a conversation with San Valette is in order, and it might not be a bad idea next time we go into town for any length of time to perhaps plan on staying on the boat for a night or two so that we can take turns scouting out that little pathway into Gellin Prime Water's cellar, see if any small craft are being coming in or out.
Were you able to figure out where it came out?
Because
Sorry, ask your question again.
Where you saw one end of the waterway. Were you able to see the other?
I believe I was, right, Sarah?
Not from where you wouldn't have been able to get an exact sight from where you were, but you all would have seen as you came into port, because this ship is right on the dock. Like, this house is right on the docks. There's a couple of different outlets, like some guesswork, especially since the one that we're referring to would be right under the house. It wouldn't be hard to pick out from the outside.
Got it.
A general idea, sure.
Excellent.
Alright, if there's no more business, we'll have you guys take your long rest and decide what you're going to do the next day. Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright. Let's get a mention in chat when I don't even know if you guys even need to mark anything for long rest at this point. Nothing happened today, right?
Except
I do,
for
but
someone
I'm good.
locked in a basement.
Yeah, one person burned some spell slots. Okay.
I'm good though.
All right. Next morning is a foggy, muggy morning. Dim and a little bit dark and difficult to see. And what is it that you are doing today? You are finishing your contract for Ingo the Drover. Considering talking to Senbalet, what time would you like to head out, and what sort of arrangements and which order are you doing things in?
Do we want to, or are we prepared to make a go at exploring Crabber's Grove?
That's actually what I was going to suggest.
Then
Are you in summer?
I am spring today.
Okay.
Are you sure we want to go? We didn't feel like it a few days ago.
Oh, I
thought that
feel
was
like I'm more ready today than I was yesterday.
Well, plus by now I'm guessing Greinar's armor is complete. We should probably swing by and Greinar can pick that up. We can speak to Senlet, though I don't see any reason for him to be willing to answer our questions, but we never know. We might be able to.
Well, if he
Get him
and Gellin Prime Water were competitors, perhaps he'd like to give Mr. Prime Water some payback.
That is a good point, actually.
Okay.
So armor, Sanballet, contract, crabs.
Sounds like a plan.
You can't call it crabs.
Sound good.
No, I meant deal with the crabs because we went by and we saw crabs. We just weren't prepared to fight them.
I particularly liked the order and how the last 2 items just ended up being contract crabs.
Excellent. I love a thorough plan.
That sounds like a problem. You know what? I'm going to stop myself.
You know what happens when you have a plan? It all goes down the drain.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
That's when
Alright.
Greinar's plan kicks in.
that is just the entirety of Greinar's plan
Right.
at any point. Okay. To map. Okay.
I'm the one.
I mean, Grindr is basically the meme where it's, I have a problem. I need your help. Raises hand. Murder is not an acceptable answer. Lowers hand.
All right. Okay. First stop is Cadmira's. Need a con save from Vicaris as you cross the Shark Fin Bridge.
Since I don't have alter self today and I can't swim.
Do you just want to wait at the...
Natural
Never
20.
mind.
You step on, you burp really awfully, and then you feel fine, and you continue.
Sounds about right.
Excuse you.
All right. Pick up the armor, and then after that was I'm assuming the jailhouse, since that's more on your way. Be going all over town otherwise, right?
Correct.
Okay. All right. So from here to here. All right. We're getting to mid-morning by now. When you arrive, Craddock recognizes Zashel and all the rest of you for sure, but Zashel's been here quite a bit, and says, here for the little gnome woman again."
And Senblet, please.
"Sure." And he takes you down and says, "How many are we going in?"
Zashel,
you-
do you mind if I accompany you?
No, of course not. Anyone else? I will warn you, Vicaris, it is very unpleasant down there. It severs all magical ties.
Oh, in that case, you should definitely go down there.
Well, I already was uncomfortable on the bridge. I would not like to add that today.
Yop and Zashel and everyone else okay waiting outside, or do they want to go in?
I'm okay waiting outside. I don't think we need to bring a whole army into a
I mean, you
jailhouse.
don't. I was just wondering if you wanted it.
Did you say you were going down, Greiner?
Yes.
Okay. All of you, the 3 of you, are taken down into the cells, to the back where there is the mage holder cell, and you are allowed in. Door is shut. Zashel feels the disconnect. Yop, because your magic is operating differently, but because you are still wearing a lot of magical artifacts, you just feel suddenly like heavier. As everything is shut off.
Doesn't interfere with artificer magic. Interesting.
Well, the thing is it does, like her
It's
her
not
ability,
a
like
part of
her. Yeah, like her magic is manifested in things that are done rather than magic that she has. Does that make sense?
Right. So sort of the way I'm thinking of it is there's a 0% chance that any of my magic would work. Right?
Yes.
But it just doesn't fuck with me personally because in part because of the class and in part just because of the flavor I have. Like the magic that I do is like I'm flicking switches on my shield and I'm,
Yeah.
doing that sort of
Got
stuff.
it,
So none of that
got
stuff is going to work. But it other than feeling a little heavier than usual, which is just mean for a big girl, but
Wow.
I was actually more curious about your cleric level.
Oh, that's right.
a good point.
Oh, I kind of forgot. No, okay. Then there is that as well. There's a deafness suddenly.
I don't feel so good.
Okay.
Wow, even divine connection. Whoa, this place is.
Anyway, you have the two prisoners here. They're actually both laying on cots, apparently having been either asleep or mostly asleep until the door was audibly opened. And Punketta actually just sits up and says, "Is it? Are you back?"
Yes, for a brief moment. I actually need to speak to your cellmate, so if you will come over here, and I will guide her to wherever we usually speak that is away from San Ballet.
Uh-huh.
I have spoken to several council members, and as long as you are able to explain your remorse and the simplicity of your role within the ship whose name, the Ghost of the Sea, I'm confident that you will be able to get out of here much faster, certainly, than this one. And I gesture over to Sam.
Okay.
I have spoken with the one that you would be assisting, and they are interested, if not eager, in your assistance. Eager for your assistance. You get what I mean. Anyway, rest, get your strength. Hopefully, your trial will come soon. If you need assistance, I will be there.
I was told it's tomorrow, so.
Then I will be there.
All right. Thanks.
Now for a much less pleasant conversation. Actually, you served on the Ghost of the Sea. Who do you know who the ultimate proprietor of your ship was? Was it simply the captain? Who was he dealing with here outside of San Billet?
Snake Eyes worked with a couple of different people. Doesn't like to really tie himself to any major connections. Goes where the money goes. I mean, we just had our drop-off point at that house. We don't know, I don't know anyway, where it went after that. Or, yeah.
Fair enough, fair enough. And I will make sure she's settled and then join Grinar and
San Ballet is rough. He's been here for a while now. Not a great smell coming off the guy, and his hair's greasy and heavy. And he just, but he has a snobby voice still, a snobby tone, and he says, "Well, you've finally come to speak with me. How generous." And he's got his head turned towards the moving footsteps, Zashel, as you get closer. And he says, "I recognize your voice, but I don't know that I know who you are."
we've met before.
Am I allowed to punch the shit out of him?
That would probably be frowned on for a prisoner, but
Alright, fine.
it's not entirely off the table.
Cracks knuckles.
Well, did you finally find valuable item?
Finally find what you cut out, I'm sorry.
Did you finally think of something that I could help you with? You come here very frequently.
I've been here a few times only, but yes, there is finally, unfortunately, something that I need to ask you. I cannot promise that this will sway the council at all. In fact, it may. We need to know who your connection was in town. We know that there are other players still in the smuggling game here within Saltmarsh.
There are many within Saltmarsh who benefit from cheaply acquired goods. There are folks outside Saltmarsh who pay handsomely for the tools that we can collect from within the city. The names, well, what good does it do me to help you in this instance? This could be information that I could be readily giving in court, whereas if I told you now, you may go and rattle it off as information you've discovered on your own, and then... And he smiles rather sarcastically.
It could also be information you prattle off in court, only to find that it's the information that hangs you. I don't have that power. And indeed, might be able to if the information you give us is useful in any fashion, I will be sure, and you have nothing for this but my word. I could write a contract, but you wouldn't be able to sign it anyway. That any information you give me that leads to any positive outcome, the council will know that we got it from you. I don't know how much that will impact your trial.
And we have the ability to verify this information, something that you have no capacity to do while you are stuck in here. So if you provide the information to the council, all they have to judge it by is your word, which unfortunately isn't worth very much right about now. But if you share that information with us, and we go out and verify it, then you have a much stronger defense.
If you're very interested, the proprietor at that slum of a bar and guildmaster, they might be able to point you in some direction.
Master?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something Zashel should recognize?
I don't know at this point if that information has been shared with Zashel.
Is he talking about Jalar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Hmm.
So that's all you're interested in sharing with us. Two low-level associates.
You
I
can,
told you this would be a waste of time, Zashel.
you can try all you like, but that is the 2 names I can offer you. And he lifts his cuffed hands in a shrug. If you know any others, I would certainly love to hear. You can roll insight. He does seem like he's messing with you a bit, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Hmm.
Well, I guess we will see what we can shake loose.
I would
Have
just
they-
remind you that, much like yourself, we are simply business people out to make a coin. Now, we've made smarter choices than you have. We've chosen a respectable profession, one that the law smiles on as opposed to frown upon. But the fact remains, at the end of the day, we're all just interested in making another gold piece.
Yes, I recall. I recall that very clearly. Being tied up in your home and being attacked while restrained. I do recall.
Such indignation from someone who tried to take that home from us. So silly. But what you forget is that at the end of the day, we're interested in making coin. We don't judge one way or the other if you have compatriots or competitors in town. If there is a way that we can make $1 off of it, or a gold piece off of it, then we are interested in exploiting that information. And if it means helping you out for your upcoming trial, that is no matter of ours. But if you prefer to rot in jail and hope that the information that you can bring to bear on the council, if you think that's enough, well then, by all means, we'll leave you to yourself. And I'm sure that you have no enemies on the council whatsoever who would like to see you silenced.
Have they scheduled your trial yet? I know your cellmate is.
He nods. I believe the charm of the courtroom shall surely bring anything to light that you might not have managed to. And he lightly turns his head towards Ashel and says, I am to be tried 4 days after her. As I understand, there have been a number of strings pulled on her behalf.
Some are useful, some are not.
If you are done bothering me,
I will just leave.
Yep.
okay. Then what? Go back upstairs, meet up with everyone else. Do you share any of the information?
I think all of it.
Okay.
He's given us a few names, but nothing specific to
And
anyone else.
nothing we didn't already know. Just Jalar's name and
God, I
Maybe
can't
not
remember the
while we're
guy's
in
name.
the jail.
Oh, I thought we were out front already.
Democratic first.
On your way, yeah.
Right.
Just Talar's name and Krebs. We can shake them down if we like, or we can get this contract signed.
Well, the empty net is on this side of the bridge, so it might make sense to do that now. If the rest of you don't mind delaying our trip to Go and Crabber's Grove.
Oh, I can wait. I don't mind.
Do we all have to go to the empty net?
No, I suppose not. I just didn't know. What is this guy's name again? This barkeep.
Kreb Shanker?
Kreb Schenker.
Kreb Shanker. Really the seediest name in this game. So you head to the empty net?
I guess so. Yes.
Or not? Do you...
Oh, I mean, everyone else is. I don't know. Yumi will hang out outside. What else is next to the empty net?
There's the quartermasters of Eos, and there's the market as well. The
She'll
daily
just
market.
wander the market while they're in the empty net.
Okay.
Oh, well, do I have to cross the bridge to get to the market?
Nope.
Okay, I'm gonna hang out with her in the market.
Okay. All right.
And I can do what I texted you.
What's Dasani doing? Is Andrew still around?
I'm here.
Yes.
Okay. Dasani, do you want to go to the bar or do you want to hang out at the market?
I want to go to the bar, dude.
All right. It's 10 a.m.
5 o'clock somewhere.
Never too early to start drinking.
Yeah, haven't you heard of mimosas?
Hello.
Oh, I recall. The empty net, a location Dasani is yet to be, is an inn and tavern that is built overhanging the ocean. It's built on stilts, and its back has a large back window and a patio where people sometimes thrown off the side when they get a little too rowdy. And the people who are here are the people who hang out at gross, dingy, dirty bars at 10 in the morning. And the and the owner looks similarly unpleasant in general. Hold on. Let me just put you on that map. You haven't been there in a bit. A couple books in here. All right. Zashel, Yop, and Dasani.
And
Kreb.
Grenar.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Okay. The 4.5 of you show your faces around here. I mean, some time, and actually, that Kreb who's tending looks up at you and seems modestly surprised, and it looks like possibly relieved. You guys used to spend most of your nights here, so he's like, older Custer, I was worried you might have died. And he says, is there anything I can do for you this morning?
Quick question.
Sorry, Young.
Mm-hmm.
The 4 tokens at the bottom here,
Mm-hmm.
they're just 4 random tokens?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
That's not. Yeah, don't worry.
Just making sure. That's what
Yeah.
I figured, but
Go all the way up to the bar.
Could I have a beer, please?
Naturally. And he pours one and slides it to you.
How much is that gonna be?
2 copper.
Hmm. I will
The-
give him the 2 copper.
Usually people who show up this early don't usually buy 1 glass, so I wasn't expecting to have to charge you so early. How are y'all doing? It's been a few days. Better part of a week.
We've had some business out west. We ran into someone I think might be a. Well, he directed us this way, Mr. Sanballet.
Oh, yeah. Is that the sort of thing you're looking for?
That's the sort of thing we are looking for, yes. We're trying to get sort of an understanding of the factions. We spoke to him, but he made out that he was not quite in the know enough, if that makes sense.
What sort of things are you looking to buy? I should ask.
Well, we're always in the market for weapons.
Yeah. I'm not really the one to be talking to about that.
Oh, really? You came quite highly recommended. Who would be the one to talk to about that?
Well, the Woodcrafters Guild is usually one of the better places to go. They have better storage space in general and don't have as many people wandering through the building.
I see, and you do understand we're not talking about just your average, everyday, ordinary weapons. I mean, we could go to a forge and get those. Hell, I could make many of them myself.
Sure. Yeah. We also can assist in getting most of those types of things on a cheaper dime as well. So
I see. And what if in the course of our day-to-day work, we were to come across a large cache of weapons that didn't particularly suit our needs, but were worth money on the black market? Would you be an individual to come speak to about how to unload those for cash or other necessary goods?
he nods.
Wonderful. Anyone else in town that we should speak to or clear this with? We don't want to step on any toes.
I would say that I am the one who knows where you need to go.
You're the fence. Yes.
You could just say that. Yes. He lightly glances over at the people who are sitting farther away and says, most people know this.
Oh,
So then, if if we were able to acquire a supply of items of, shall we say, an extra planner nature, what would be one, what would be your cut? And two, who would we ultimately be doing business with?
Well, that's
Or-
not something I like to discuss openly. My number comes out to 5%, but the buyers takes a little bit more to know who you're selling to. Most often, if they are buying through me or selling through me, it's not because they don't know where to look, it's because they don't want to be known.
I'll turn to Zashel.
I told you he was a trustworthy criminal.
He smiles, and you can see he's got some teeth in the back that are missing.
How much? I know the Pirate Kings, I believe they're called, are not far from here. What, the Eastern Islands, Western? I don't know. This compass is. Anyway, what is the chance that they are involved? As much as do you have any dealings with them? I don't want to get on the wrong side of the king's powers. And I know that they have been problem.
I try to keep everything internal as much as I can from my standpoint. If I don't know about it, that's better for me. I can't rat on people I don't know. But as far as I know, I don't set out to deal with the Sea Princes. No.
I only have one more question for you, Greb. Do you know why Sanvalet would tell us that we should go talk to Scarin?
I don't.
Not usually involved in buying or selling of illicit weapons, is he?
He scratches the side of his head and he says, "What's that? What's the last name? I don't know that I know a Scarin."
Oh, never mind.
So, do I need to be making any important calls, or is this just a browsing conversation?
I think we just wanted to know that you you were the man to come to if we had either needs or goods to unload. And it seems that the rumors are true. It is lovely that we have a fuller understanding of each other's business.
He nods.
We do have another job soon for an outside party that will almost certainly provide us with a trove of relics of a kind. We just wanted to make sure we had an idea of where to safely dispose of said items. We will speak again soon.
He nods. And you leave?
I believe so.
I got
Okay.
nothing else.
All right.
Just
That looks like
trying to figure out how to be like, hey, do you guys deal with Gellin? Without actually being like, hey, do you guys deal with Gellin?
Right.
Where did you get your weapons?
okay. That looks like time for tonight.